Good evening, everyone. It's 7:36 on Monday, June 2nd, 2025. I am Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie, and we are now going to begin our City Council regular session meeting. At this time, we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, and we have a quorum. We actually have a quorum with Council Members Gay, Council Member Arnold, and Council Member Karn, and myself. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And our invocation this evening, Clerk, who do we have? Okay, Chaplain Walker. All righty.
Good evening, Mayor and City Councilmen and citizens of College Park. May we have a word of prayer. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable, O God, to you as we struggle to create a city where we're honest, open, we're faithful, and we're committed to the laws and the values of our community. We start with prayer, O Lord, even in the midst of those who deny your presence or deny your influence on our decisions and deliberations. As we pause, O God, to invoke your presence and awareness of your spiritual influence on the highest ideals and moral actions of human beings, of what we're capable of. We encourage you to touch the minds and the hearts of our mayor and city council members, along with all of those who desire to serve in authentic and responsible ways. We lift up, O Lord, our police chief and our fire chief and their departments to give thanks for what they have given to us to protect us so we can have life, liberty, and pursue justice. We give you thanks, O God, for all your good angels that can come to us so we can experience hope, comfort, insight into our personal as well as social anxiety of the time that we live in this city, in this state, and in our nation. Help us to come together to be able to be sure that we do not fall victim to the dark spirits who want to make us enemies and not friends and fellow citizens. Draw us near, O God, to your spirit to enfold all of us into a healthy we. Not you, not me, not I, but we. Good neighbors, searching to be better and more responsible citizens. Now, we especially lift up ourselves, O God, to your presence. May we leave here with the feeling of faith, hope, love, pride, and integrity. May we leave comforted that we have come, we've done our best to reason, to reflect, and to share our hearts. In the name of faith, hope, and love, we offer this invocation. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Walker. At this time, I turn the meeting into the hands of our Mayor, Bianca Motley Broom.
Madam Clerk?
Next item, civility pledge.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents of College Park. I'm going to read our civility pledge. It reads as such: the way we govern ourselves is often as important as the positions we take. Our collective decisions will be better when different views have had the opportunity to be fully vetted and considered. All people have the right to be treated with respect, courtesy, and openness. We value all input. We commit to conduct ourselves at all times with civility and courtesy to each other. In addition, Mayor and Council, I know there are some current situations that people are extremely passionate about, and I feel their passion. But I also want to remind people of Georgia Article 16-11-34, preventing or disrupting a lawful meeting, gathering, or procession, which reads, a person who recklessly or knowingly commits any act which may be reasonably be expected to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting, gathering, or procession is guilty of a misdemeanor. Anybody found guilty of this evening, there would be some repercussions. This would be your only warning this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes.
Fire Chief Jones.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, citizens and visitors of College Park. I'm Fire Chief Sterling Jones with your brief safety briefing. In the event of a fire, please exit out of your closest exit. Please gather all your belongings and do not come into the building unless you're directed to do so. Once outside, follow the direction of College Park staff and they will direct you to a collection point. Please exit in a safe and calm and orderly fashion. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, so I always say at the start of the meeting that I have a continuing objection to ordinance 2024-01 and the omnibus motion that this body passed the first week of January in 2024. And prior to the additions, deletions, amendments, or changes, I do want to give Ms. Miller an opportunity just to introduce herself to the community. And you can have the floor at this time.
Good evening. I
Good
would
evening.
first like to thank Mayor Motley Broom, Mayor Pro Tem, and the council. It is an honor to serve the council, residents, and business owners in the city of College Park. It is a privilege to bring my 20-plus years of government experience in small business administration, community workforce, airport federal compliance, compliance and investigation with the Office of the Inspector General, and as a purchasing director. I hold an MBA and various certifications, including NIGP and Universal Public Procurement Certification Council. I look forward to serving our community and continuing the work here with the City of College Park. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Miller. Appreciate it. All right, are there any additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I do have 2 additions to the agenda. The first one is to add a request to execute the MOU and ratify the acceptance of the cashier check made out to the City of College Park for $20,000 from Contour Realty for Chelsea Gardens.
All right.
And next addition to the agenda would be consideration of an action on a request to approve a city manager employment agreement between the City of College Park, Georgia, and Lindell Y. Miller.
I think that'd be ratification of that agreement. Instead of, it's ratification of the agreement.
Yes, Mayor.
I have one.
Councilmember Gay?
It'll be an addition, a consideration of an action to affix a monument sign to the David Scott Bridge to include mayor and council and city manager.
All right, so we're just gonna put all these, just, okay, we'll just keep on tacking on, I think it is 10, is that right? No, it is not, because 10 is it's 9 is the regular session, is that right?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
So the MOU and the acceptance of the $20,000 would be 9, Madam Clerk?
J,
J.
9J.
Okay. Ratification of the employment contract. That'd be 9K.
K, 9K.
And consideration of a sign for the bridge. That'd be 9L.
And, Madam Mayor, is it appropriate at this time to ask that we limit the time for the budget meeting this evening
The public hearing?
for 1 hour?
I was going to ask if we could move that up, because we've never had public hearings after all of the rest of our work. Because right now, it's after the consent agenda and the regular session. So if people want to speak on the budget,
I'm okay to move it up, but I still would like consensus to limit it to 1 hour.
all right, so you'd be amenable to moving it above the consent agenda?
For 1 hour.
Yes, sir. So that would make it 7? Councilmember Carr?
Yeah, a couple of things. Okay, so we got 4 different items, is that right, that we're talking about here?
We have the execution of the MOU and acceptance of the $20,000 from Contour, ratification of Ms. Miller's employment contract, that'd be 9K. The previous was 9J. 9L is consideration of the sign for the bridge. And the last one is just moving the public hearing up and limiting discussion to 1 hour.
Okay, 9K, Ms. Miller, do we have the contract?
Mr. Denmark sent the contract.
No,
No, the-
Ms. Miller's contract.
Ms. Miller's employment contract.
I was thinking that is something that would be handled in executive session, because I do have some questions on the contract. So are we going to discuss that in open session?
You can discuss it in executive session if that's your preference, but obviously the vote would have to be public.
Well, I'm fine wherever we discuss it. I wanted to see it. Do we have it?
Mr. Denmark sent it to all of us.
Okay, if I didn't know it was going to be added on, I wanted to take a look, but okay. The other one, with the plaque, I'm fine with the bridge plaque, but additionally, the intent was actually a second plaque as well for Congressman Scott. And since we're adding this plaque approval, I wanted to add an approval for the secondary plaque for Congressman Scott. And that's, subject to the approval of the final draft of it by all of us. So I wanted to add that to the, if we're adding things. So I'd like to add that to 9, what is that?
L.
9L. If there are no objections to that.
9L.
Councilmember Gay, any issues with that?
I mean, that motion has nothing to do with my motion, so
Okay, all
That's
right, so we can
something
do a 9M then?
it'll have to be voted on by us.
Okay, so we'll do 9M being the plaque for Congressman Scott. And lastly, item D on the consent agenda, while it's Sourcewell, it doesn't list the actual vendor that we're going to use. So if we could bring that off and just get that information.
Now, this is additions as well as deletions, correct?
additions, deletions, amendments, or changes?
Okay, I'm motioning that we remove item 6F, which is the proclamation for Mr. John Azar. He was not going to be available today. He was managing an emergency situation with his family. I would like us to possibly move that proclamation to the January meeting.
June, July.
The July, excuse me, the July meeting, if there's no objection there, to make sure we still recognize him.
Okay. All right, any other additions, deletions, amendments, or changes? We can, if there's discussion that needs to be had in regard to the employment contract, we can move that after executive session, so we can ratify it at that point.
Who added that item?
It needed, I discussed it with Ms. Miller, and I believe Ms. Miller sent it to Ms. Bogner for addition.
You want to add it after the executive session?
Or, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. Give me one moment here. Okay. All right, so is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
All right, so Councilmembers Carn, Arnold, and Gay are in favor. Councilmember McKenzie abstained. The motion passes. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
All right, so Councilmembers Carn, Arnold, and Gay in favor. Councilmember McKenzie abstained. The motion passes.
Agenda item 4, council appointments, consideration of an action to appoint Mayor Motley Broom's nominees Elizabeth Lester and Sasha Robinson to the Charter Review Commission.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That is unanimous.
Agenda item 5, presentation of minutes of City Council. 5A, budget number 1, minutes dated April 23rd, 2025.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you.
Agenda item 5B, budget number 2, minutes dated April 24th, 2025.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 5C, workshop session minutes dated May 19th, 2025.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 That is unanimous.
Agenda item 5D, regular session minutes dated May 19th, 2025.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you.
Next item, proclamations, resolutions, plaques, and announcements. 6A, introduction of new employees, May 2025.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Excuse me. I would like to ask all those new employees for the month of May to come up and introduce themselves and tell you what department they're in.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hannah Adiogan, and I'm a part of the Economic Development Department.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marcella Smith. I'm part of the fire department.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gregory Davis. An honor to meet you all. Pleasure to be here serving the community. I work for the fire service.
Hello, everyone. My name is Akis Garcia. I'm the program manager for economic development. Pleasure to meet you all.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, distinguished members of council, wonderful residents and visitors of College Park. I'm Randall Slaughter, and I'm honored to serve as your new deputy fire chief. I have 35 years in the business. I come by way of the city of Atlanta. I served the last 31 and a half years as a fire chief there. On my way there, I served as the chief of the airport as well as the chief of field operations. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Noble Aaron, and I'm a summer camp counselor at the Brady Center.
Good evening. My name is Nadia Garcia Varenk. I'm a summer camp counselor here at Conley Recreation Center.
Hi everyone, my name is Pasha Laplanish. I'm a summer recreational counselor at the UC Conley Recreational Center.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Halen Toney. I am a summer camp manager at the Conley Recreational Center.
Hello, my name is Elias Harrison, and I'm a summer camp counselor at the Conley Recreational Center.
Good evening, everyone. I am Kristen Marks. I am a summer camp counselor at the Tracy White Recreation Center.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vivian White, and I'm summer camp counselor at the Brady Recreation Center.
Hello, my name is Keisha Gilmore. I am the camp director over at Tracy White Recreation Center.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Justin Doctor, and I'm a camp counselor at Tracy White Center.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Moreland. I'm summer custodian for Conley Recreation Center.
Hi, I'm Amaya Cooper. I'm a summer camp coach for the College Park Tumbleweeds at the Conley Recreation Center.
All right, group. All right, everybody, looks great. We'll take 3 on 3. 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. Last time, 1, 2, and 3. Excellent.
Okay, now for the Employee of the Month. This employee returned to the City of College Park in September 2022 and has since continued to be an instrumental part of our team. With a total of 28 years of dedicated service to the Recreation Department, she has spent the majority of her career nurturing young athletes and building the highly respected College Park Tumbleweeds gymnastic program. Beyond coaching and mentoring, she serves as a role model who inspires many through her leadership and example. She made history as Georgia's first black gymnastics judge, breaking barriers with humility, grace, and strength. Her deep expertise, unwavering dedication, and passion for youth development have left a lasting impact not only on our city's program, but also on the gymnastics community across the state. Her commitment makes her an invaluable asset to our city. Please join me in congratulating our May All-Star of the Month, Ms. Lisa Wheaton, on this well-deserved recognition.
All right, let's shift over this way just a little bit. There we go, and get the camera out of it. Good, let's go this way, good. Right there, perfect. Let's do one like this, and then we'll put everybody in. All right, on three. 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Let me take one with your phone. Holding the phone. I'll put you on this side. I'll put you on this side. Oh, we have some, okay.
Coach Lisa, Coach me.
Come on this side, baby. Yeah, right there. Michelle.
Come on.
Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Yes, Lisa and I are only 5 years different.
Thank God, thank God. You're going this side. Sir, you're this side. You got everybody? Okay, perfect. All right. On 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn in just a little bit more, your hips. Good. 1, 2, and 3. Last time. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Item 6C, proclamation for Juneteenth, presented by Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie.
Gives me It brings me great pleasure and honor to present this proclamation for the second time in the history of the City of College Park. Last year was the first time that we openly celebrated Juneteenth, and this year we will do the same thing on June 19th, right here in the City of College Park. City of College Park proclamation recognizing Juneteenth celebration. Whereas on January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, setting in motion the end of slavery in the United States. And whereas the Civil War ended with the surrender of General Lee at Appomattox Courthouse on April 9, 1865. And whereas this news reached Texas when Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston Bay with Union troops, it was on June 19, 1865, that he announced
The people of Texas are informed of that in accordance with a proclamation from the United States Executive that all slaves are free. And whereas celebration of the end of slavery, which became known as Juneteenth, is the oldest known public celebration of the end of slavery in the United States. And whereas Juneteenth commemorates African American freedom and celebrates the successes gained through education and greater opportunity. And whereas, on a larger scale, the celebration of Juneteenth reminds each of us of the precious promises of freedom, equality, and opportunity, which are at the core of the American dream. And whereas the legislative body of the City of College Park has determined by a unanimous vote to commemorate Juneteenth with a parade and festive activities on June 19, 2025. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the mayor pro tem, and the city council of the City of College Park, Georgia, that we do hereby recognize the Juneteenth celebration. College Park recognizes the celebration of Juneteenth and urges all citizens to join in this celebration. Proclaimed this second day of June, 2025.
Item 6D, proclamation for Sabrina Miller Willis, presented by Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie.
All right, I'm going to ask if Dr. Sabrina Miller Willis will come down. We want to take some time to recognize this amazing woman. I mean, she's the gift that just keeps on giving. Every time you think, you can't even, you think, how does she do it all? And she keeps on going. So it brings me great joy to honor you today on behalf of the City of College Park. And this proclamation is the City of College Park proclamation to Dr. Sabrina Miller Willis. Whereas Dr. Sabrina Miller Willis is a distinguished community leader, entrepreneur, developer, and also the founder of the nonprofit organization Favor House. For over 30 years, Sabrina has successfully operated RSW services along with her husband, Rex, and has played a pivotal role in the betterment of the City of College Park. And whereas Dr. Willis currently serves as the chair of the City of College Park's Business and Industrial Development Authority, advocating for economic growth and community development initiatives that empower marginalized communities through housing, food, distribution, education, workforce development, and entrepreneurship under her It Takes a Village initiative. And whereas Dr. Willis has been honored with numerous accolades for her humanitarian efforts, including an honorary doctorate for humanitarianism, the Lifetime Achievement Award from Barack Obama, the Outstanding Georgia Citizen Award, and the Succeeding Against the Odds Award from the Atlanta Business League. Whereas, in addition to her recognition as Citizen of the Year and Nonprofit of the Year, Dr. Willis has been featured in Who's Who in Black Atlanta and received multiple awards, including the Citywide Nonprofit of the Year Award in College Park. And whereas Dr. Willis is a champion for youth and families, having founded Favor House and the Georgia Favor Track Club, which has empowered thousands of young athletes. During the pandemic, she facilitated the distribution of thousands of pounds of food to families in need, leading to the establishment of the It Takes a Village food pantry.
And whereas Dr. Willis's dedication to community service is further exemplified by her initiatives such as the Go Georgia Arts mural projects and the designation of College Park as a Kaboom Playful City USA community, resulting in the construction of several playgrounds for children. And whereas Dr. Willis is a proud mother of 8, a grandmother of 18, and her commitment to her family reflects her deep-rooted dedication to nurturing future generations in College Park. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the mayor pro tem and the city council of the city of College Park do hereby recognize and commend Dr. Sabrina Miller Willis for her unwavering commitment to community service, her leadership in fostering positive change, and her tireless efforts to uplift the lives, including me, of those living in our community. We celebrate her achievements and her contributions, which have undeniably enriched the lives of countless individuals, and not just in College Park, but throughout Georgia and families. Proclaimed on this 2nd day of June, and it was also on the 7th day of April as well, 2025, double. We honor you today, Dr. Sabrina Miller Willis.
I think I can talk. Can I? I mean, they can hear me.
They might not hear you, but
Right now, when I tell you this is a special day for me, a lot of times I write things down because I just don't know how to always just put what I really feel in my heart to say what I really want to say. But I can say, and I do have a voice. I thank you, Jamil. Long time coming. A lot of people, even today, when I tell you I've been on roller skates, I've been on roller skates. But I always say, Sabrina Willis, she gonna show up. And I showed up tonight because I worked so hard. And oftentimes I ask for very little. I've asked for very little as long as I've served this community. Honestly, I don't ask for much. But I'm finna ask now. And my ask is, and I hope my telephone rings off the hook. We are in a crisis not only in our community, our state, and in our nation. Right now, our kids are out of school for the summer. They need extra support. They need our community. We have people that are hungry. We have people who need housing. We are in crisis. We're beyond crisis. And I say this, if you see me, I always ask for help. But if you have not called my name, if you have not called my number, you haven't gotten help, because I say yes to everybody. When I say that, I do workforce development. I tell people all the time, you want to come find me. You're going to get something to eat. You're going to get something. You're going to come out better than you were when you first came. But I thank you. Thank you, Jamil. Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thank you. Our new city manager, thank you. Thank you. I thank my community. But I need help. Our community needs help. And if we don't wake up, wake up. Playtime over. Playtime over. And if I can work 24/7, I doggone know well. Some people can say, hey, Sabrina, what do you need to make our community better? Last week, 2 weeks ago, we built a Kaboom, our 4th one. And I can count the number of people who represented our community. Our community. We got to show up for each other. So to ask, I'm here. You can walk out the door and ask me. I do more than enough, but I do need help. Let's wake up, City of College Park. Let's make some good things happen. Playtime over. Playtime is over. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Woo-hoo. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you.
Rex, would you come up, please? Come up.
All right. Tilt it forward for me just a little bit more. There you go. On three. 1, 2, and 3. Tilt it a little bit more forward for me. Mayor, yeah, there you go. All right, on three. 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. Last time. Thank you.
Item 6E, proclamation for Beulah Lindsay, presented by Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie.
I know Beulah's going to let me have it because she didn't want me to give this to her. But you know, those are the people that you want to give to. The ones that don't think that they deserve it because they don't do it for the accolade. So it brings me great joy, even though I know she's going to beat me down tomorrow, to be able to honor Beulah Lindsay. And this proclamation is really special because this is the City of College Park proclamation recognizing Beulah Lindsay Day. Whereas the City of College Park recognizes the outstanding contributions of individuals who have dedicated their lives to education, community service, and civic engagement. And whereas Beulah Lindsay is a proud resident of College Park for 23 years, and she has demonstrated exemplary commitment to improving the lives of others through various roles in education and community service. And whereas Beulah is an alumnus of Benedict College and Clark Atlanta University, having obtained a bachelor's and master's degree respectively, and has devoted her professional career to Atlanta Technical College, serving in multiple capacities, including English instructor, department chairperson, and director of continuing education. And whereas, as director of continuing education, Beulah successfully designed a comprehensive training program in customer service for approximately 400 employees of the City of College Park, showcasing their dedication to workforce development, her dedication to workforce development. And whereas Beulah served on the Board of Zoning and Appeals in the City of College Park for 14 years, including 3 years as the chair, and has actively represented community interest before the mayor and council, advocating for the rights and the needs of residents. And whereas Beulah has volunteered countless hours to assist in community initiatives, including organizing food distribution for those in need and ensuring seniors have access to polling places during elections, thereby empowering them to exercise their right to vote. And whereas Beulah's tireless efforts and unwavering commitment to serving the community have had a positive impact on the City of College Park and inspired others to engage in civic activities. And whereas in 2023, Beulah's public advocacy to the city to officially recognize Juneteenth resulted in the first celebration of Juneteenth in our city's history, in our city's at that time 134-year history, on June 19th, 2024. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor pro tem, and the city council of the City of College Park, Georgia, do hereby proclaim June 2nd, 2025 as Beulah Lindsay Day, and I'll say all of June as Beulah Lindsay Month. in the city of College Park in recognition of her invaluable contributions to our community and to honor her service, dedication, and leadership, proclaimed the second day of June 2025. Beulah, we appreciate you. She just said she's not mad at me, but I wanted to say something.
I humbly accept this proclamation, and if any of my deeds brought about a difference for the citizens of College Park, I appreciate what I have done and the efforts that I made. I too echo what Dr. Willis said, that it is a time for us to come together. I'm hoping that the mayor and council will work collectively for the benefit of everyone, because all of us are citizens, regardless of where we live, whether we're in Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3, or Ward 4. This body here makes decisions that affect all of us. So it is my hope that moving forward, we listen, hear the voices, and try to do our best to make sure that what we do, we're doing that which is in the best interest of everybody. If we don't do that, at the end of the day, we have done nothing. They have done nothing. That's right. So because we are here to serve everyone. So I appreciate the proclamation, and I'm humbled by it. Thank you.
Agenda item 7, remarks of citizens. Rose Stewart.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Good evening.
I am Rose Stewart. I live at 2453 Odell Way. I'm accompanied by Veronica Brown, Jerry Silver, and Sean Hightower. We are four of the 4 employees who were wrongfully terminated 2 weeks ago by Lindell Miller on her first day of employment as interim city manager. Today we come before you in response to and dispute of the lies and the misinformation that has been initiated by members of this city regarding the illegal and unethical terminations that occurred on Tuesday, May 20th, beginning around 3:45 p.m. by Lindell Miller. On Monday, May 19th, in a motion to abruptly terminate Dr. Adediran, Lindell Miller was appointed as interim city manager. It has been the precedence of the governing body of the City of College Park in an appointment of this nature to require a contract that is authorized, approved as to form by the attorney, and voted on by the council, and then signed by the mayor. Typically, this process takes a few days at a minimum to negotiate and to finalize. However, on Tuesday, May 20th, Lindell Miller's first day, she arrived at City Hall approximately after 2:30 p.m. Then around 3:40 p.m., an hour into her new role, she proceeded to initiate one of her first assignments, termination of my employment and the employment of my colleagues, Veronica Brown, former purchasing administrator, Jerry Silver, former code enforcement officer, and Sean Tower, former code enforcement employee. The City of College Park does have personnel policies that were approved by this council. These policies are adopted. They are approved to provide fair and equitable guidelines that support the city and its employees. On each of our accounts, the procedures and the policies of the disciplinary process were not adhered to and do not support the actions that were taken against us as employees. More specifically, my colleagues and I have not committed any violations. I'll say that again, we have not committed any violations. When violations are committed, the personnel policy has outlined procedures to make sure there is a fair and equitable treatment of staff by their assigned department head or supervisor. These steps include verbal warnings, written warnings, termination, and must be applied effectively at the time of these actions.
Thank you.
I yield my time.
Okay.
However, as we look at this, Lindell Miller did not have a signed contract that the council had voted on, and that was discussed this evening. She was operating in an unofficial capacity, and by 5 p.m., she had illegally terminated me and other staff who were targeted by members of this council. Ms. Miller, I have a question to you. Who instructed you to terminate us? You have not spoken to us prior to these actions. You did not review our personnel file prior to these actions. You did not meet with our department heads or our supervisors about our job performance. In fact, the department heads and the supervisors of these employees were not even aware of the terminations when they occurred. Even our President of the United States, guys, after being voted into office, must be sworn in prior to making any changes in the White House. What makes Ms. Miller any different? That's my question. Why is there an exception for Ms. Miller to arrive at City Hall in an unofficial capacity and terminate staff? Madam Clerk, please record the following as a verbal and written Freedom of Information request that's going to be handed to you by Mr. Silver. We request that you provide all documentation and evidence, including text messages, documents, emails, and any other informational sources presented to you regarding the termination of Rose Stewart, Veronica Brown, Jerry Silver, and Sean Hightower. We request that you provide copies of the personnel files on Rose Stewart, Veronica Brown, Jerry Silver, and Sean Hightower. We request that you provide copies of specific policies that were violated that support the reason for these terminations. Please include the policy numbers. Ms. Miller, as interim, we request that. As interim city manager, is it their intent to be the city manager? Or do you want to concede to unwarranted demands by Mayor Motley Broom in collusion with others to terminate me and others without cause? Ms. Miller, who instructed you to terminate us? Months ago, and I say months ago, allegedly verbalized statements had been made by citizens and staff that Dr. Adderderin was going to be terminated and that I would be next. These statements were made by Mayor Motley Broom. Mayor Broom, on what grounds were these actions warranted? Were these unlawful actions retaliatory retaliatory actions priority for the city? Were they really a priority that they be taken right now with the city being in such a demise? We have overdue audits. We have delays in major projects. We are in the process of drafting a 26 budget. There's a revolving door for the city manager, so I don't know how long Ms. Miller will be here. There's a deflated employee morale, and there's lack of ethical governance. Lindell Miller, when you spoke to me regarding the termination, I asked you why. I asked you why, and you stated that we are an at-will employer, and I understand that we are an at-will employer. But every employee has a right to know when adverse action is taken against them. Every employee should know when they have done something that's inconsistent with policy. And none of these people behind me that are standing behind me have done anything that's inconsistent with policy. Who instructed you to terminate us then? Ms. Miller, your letters of termination that we all received are not compliant with the City of College Park's policies. And because of that, we respectfully request and we legally demand that you and this council do the following. Reinstate our positions to full capacity based on the fact that we have not committed any infractions in the performance of our duties, and we have not violated any work rules nor acted unprofessionally. Allow department heads, and this is major for this city, we have department heads that are very qualified to do what they do. Allow department heads to make decisions regarding their areas of expertise without harassment, without intimidation, and without threats. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Alicia Taylor.
Hello, everybody. How y'all
Good
doing?
evening. Good evening.
I'm coming to you on behalf of one of the residents of Chelsea Gardens. I'm sorry. Once again, I'm Alicia Taylor. I'm an ex-resident of Chelsea Gardens Apartments. I lived there from 2011 to 2025. I was told by email on February the 5th of 2025 that the place had been sold and was given letters talking about how everything's going to be better, everything's going to be nice. But then on March the 2025, you get a letter of talking about shutting down and condemning. I'm on SSI and disability, so it was very hard for me trying to find a place to go stay. I thank God for a family member who loaned me the money, which I owe him back $2,500 for the place that I'm living in now. I'm legally blind. I'm epileptic. During the whole time of this stress that's going out from dealing with the apartment complex, I almost had to be put in the hospital because my blood pressure was 176/180. It is hard for me. I'm scared right now, but it's hard for me because I feel like I'm alone. I feel like I've been kicked in the butt, basically. And I do wish and pray, I honestly pray that there will be some help for those people who have left, had to be pushed out of Chelsea Gardens, because I'm gonna let you know this, because on the month of April, I talked to the manager there at the office, and she sort of threatened me, saying if I didn't pay my rent or half of the rent, that she was going to put a warrant out for me for eviction. I've never been through this before, but I hope that you that y'all will take in kind hearts that y'all may have. I hope that y'all have, that I believe y'all do have, to help us out here at Chelsea Gardens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sarah Gansey.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Gansey, and I used to be a resident at Chelsea Garden. I just feel like something needs to be done. Like, they are literally pushing people out. I was just there today trying to check the mail. They wouldn't even let me come in. And I just feel like this is just wrong on all kinds of levels, and they need to be held accountable for what they are doing to people. They are just pushing people out. When I was there, I was without water for 3.5 to 4 weeks, and nothing was done about it. Up until I moved, I still didn't have any water. I had to put up money so that I can move that I didn't have. I had to borrow money from people, and people are still there, and they need to be held accountable for what they're doing, because it's just wrong on all kinds of levels. And I feel like we need to make them pay. They said they have all this money, but they're not helping anybody with anything. And it's just not right. Something needs to be done about it. I just feel like it's just wrong. And I hope that you all can make them do what they promised that they would do, like housing, financial deposits. We deserve all of that and more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shanika Owens.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Shanika. It's my second meeting with you, with the panel. We are here now. And so the notices have been given as far as people being out those apartments. Just heard a story about being without water. This is third world mentality. Like, as long as I've been a voter of College Park, I have never in my life seen this. This is heinous. And this is a humanitarian emergency. Something that, I don't care what district you represent, all heads come together for this humanitarian emergency. You have people living in squalid conditions that don't have nowhere to go. I have somewhere to go. I moved. But I'm here to represent now those who couldn't be here. And we want to know what's going to be done. Because if I hold the city partially responsible, because I feel like things should have been in place for stuff like this. The resources that were given, we have to call around and try and be turned around by, hey, we need an organization to call and this and that. It's past that. We need to know what is going to happen, because something got to happen. Like, it's people still in those apartments. Like, why the hell are y'all sitting on y'all hands? This is a bad look, especially as black people on this panel. All of y'all should be ashamed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, if there's going to be commentary, please step out.
I'm not trying to start anything. I'm coming from the heart, because even though I moved off of Gobby Road, that's all I know. And I have to stand up or fall for anything. And I just have to let y'all know, at these last hours or before the next meeting, we might not have that time. Those people in those apartments may not have that time. We need y'all to come together at collective minds, bright minds. These are why y'all are in these positions, because of what y'all do. And I don't take away from what y'all do. but we need y'all to help us. Even the people that are left, I mean, we shouldn't have to come out of pocket for this. This is ridiculous, and this is embarrassing as the city of College Park. Like being a voter since 2003. I mean, this right here just deterred me from voting. Why are y'all in office if we can't have y'all rise to the occasion for things like this? We have people that have been given plaques for the community work that they're doing. While those resources and people that are trying to help in the community wasn't given to us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anastasia Jackson. Anastasia Jackson. Bazal Jupiter. Shakira Fortson.
I'm Shakira. I am a former tenant of Chelsea Gardens, and I'm also a part of PSL, the Party for Socialism and Liberation. The amount of just blatant, not only disrespect, but lack of regard that this council has for their city residents is absurd. Like, you look these people in the face and provide no assistance. Every one of you, Tracy Arnold in particular, this is your ward. What have you done to help the residents of Chelsea Gardens? These tenants are still in here because these are second chance apartments. No one, like, the support that they have been given in these apartments have been lackluster. You gave money to Pete. Pete is supposed to help, right? Has he? No. What kind of accountability have you been bringing forward to make sure that he follows through on these promises? The same thing with the city. If the landlords aren't doing their job, then it's up to the city to do something. The funds that you have, how are those funds getting distributed for the tenants? Because you have a surplus. There was a surplus last year. Where's that money going, if not to the tenants? This money that you have for your residents, you need to provide it. The demands that just having it provide permanent housing to people who have been displaced, who have been kicked out of their homes with nowhere to go, still living in the apartments or in hotels. And Sage Hands that you claim to give money to, $86K, where is that money going? Because it wasn't going to the tenants. No tenants that we have spoken to have received that money. I yield my time.
Jackie McQuarrie.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Pro Tem. Good evening, City Council members.
Good evening.
We are not just here to complain. We are here because we were failed by the landlord who took our money and by a system that allowed this to happen. We want solutions, not excuses. We want accountability, not silence, and we want justice. I would just like to know, the landlord told me before it got condemned that it was going to be condemned. Why did we have to pay rent while we were there when the place was going to be remodeled and it was going to be condemned? Why don't we have our deposit back? Why did we have to pay a deposit? To piggyback off of what Shakira said, where did the $86,000 go? Because when I called today about assistance, he don't know anything about it. So I'm here because I would like to see justice. I would like to see accountability. I would like, when you go to, when I called code enforcement, I got lied to. But then we're supposed to turn to people that we are supposed to give us information, give us knowledge to protect us. But we were treated like trash, thrown away. I'm here to fight, and I'm not going to give up this fight. I'm here to fight until the end.
Sean Scantlin.
Hi, thank you. My name is Sean with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. This issue was brought to the City Council months ago. Now, only after tenants have been evicted and the properties closed, have you decided to discuss what's been going on with these people. There's been more than enough time for the city to take action to help the tenants. Tenants have been in attendance in these meetings every week, and not once have you responded with plans for any kind of action. It is only because the tenants organized and kept the pressure on the council over the last few months that you have said you will discuss it. The tenants of Chelsea Gardens will not be pushed aside and forgotten. Words do little to help struggling people recover from illegal evictions. All around our city, government officials are putting the interests of developers and landlords over those of hardworking people. Millionaire and billionaire real estate developers buy up homes by the handful, let them fall to ruin and disrepair, and flip them so that the rich can get richer and working people are forced out into the streets. Allowing the city we love to become a playground for the rich. But the Party for Socialism and Liberation stands with the tenants of Chelsea Gardens. It's saying no more. Pledges for liberty and justice ring hollow for the tenants of this complex. You claim to fight for housing rights, but these residents see that as a lie. You pass out accolades for housing rights with one hand while taking money from slumlords, kicking people out of their homes with the other. The right to housing should be a fundamental human right, and we urge the City Council to adopt this view. Along with the tenants of Chelsea Gardens, we demand full relocation assistance for all displaced tenants. 3 months rent and moving costs covered for tenants in temporary housing who are unable to leave Chelsea Gardens. Reimbursements of security deposits and the last 2 months rent paid to Chelsea Gardens. The owners of the Chelsea Gardens have collected rent from tenants while allowing the property to become unlivable. Tenants must be compensated for this theft in full, and the City Council has the power has had the power all along to make that happen. Thank you.
Joyce Career.
Madam Clerk, how long have we, I think we've got 15 minutes on this, on one topic. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joyce, and I just happened to know about Chelsea Gardens today, learned about it on social media, and it's really disheartening to hear from people firsthand about their experiences, their living conditions, and it really just breaks my heart. I stand with them, and I will be letting my circle of influence know as well, and everybody here, they're going to be letting their circles of influence know. They've been working really hard, and I really hope that the decision tonight is in their favor, and if it's not, you know, we won't stop. So I will continue to support them any way I can. But yeah, the conditions have, like, just anyway. Yeah, I just hope that the stories have moved your heart a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marvin Miller.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm not here for what the majority of people are here for. I'm here for Park and Recreation. I've been renting Zup Park out for a few years for a military gathering, and I had it rented for last Saturday. I came over Friday, did a recon of the area. It wasn't suitable to be used on Saturday. I came over to Conley Recreation Center and expressed to them that the place needed to be cleaned up because it been raining for several days. There was mud on the pavilion floor, there was leaves and trash. So that was on Friday. They gave me a name, several numbers to call. I called, got a voicemail. Came back Saturday morning, met the park ranger there, and we discussed the issue that I had. He told me that he didn't have the necessary equipment that what he needed in order to make the recreation center correct. I meant the pavilion suitable. I came back over to Connolly, expressed my concerns. They called around and called a couple people and said that, well, it's not my job to do. We're off today. We don't have anybody to do that work. So with all the parks that we have here in the city of College Park, including Phillips Park, which is highly used, and we do have park attendants there, we're not cleaning them. The floor is deplorable. You need pressure washing. Your grills, they're not even usable. You have buckets that you put the ashes in. It's over full. So we're not, as a resident that's renting these facilities, we're not getting what we should be getting in return. So I need some help from Park and Recreation to make this happen. That's my point I need to make.
Thank you, sir.
Pastor William Wallace.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Good evening.
Councilman Karn, Councilwoman Arnold, Councilman Gay. Hear now the word of the Lord. There was a kingdom where sleeping in the palace came with prestige, but it came with a price. The bed was soft, the room was ornate, and the doors opened wide to those who sought favor. But resting in that bed required the silencing of conscience, the compromising of truth, and the laying down of integrity next to unrighteous gain. Many chose the bed, but a remnant chose the floor. Not because they were shut out, but because they feared God more than they desired power. Their posture was low, but their discernment was high. And when the shaking came, when winds of divine exposure swept through the palace, it was not those who remained on the floor who fell. It was those who made peace with injustice and those who laid with deceit and called it strategy. This is the word of the Lord for this hour. There's a spirit of compromise operating across councils, governments, and systems. It is a principality that rewards silence, celebrates self-preservation, and mocks righteousness. But the Lord is not silent, and his eyes are not shut. Proverbs 29:4 says, by justice a king builds a nation, but those who are greedy for bribes tear it down. Isaiah 1:23 says, your rulers are rebels, companions of thieves. They all love bribes and chase after gifts. They do not defend the cause of the fatherless. The widow's case does not come before them. The Lord has seen the backroom deals. He has heard the cries of the displaced, the overlooked, and the violated. He has watched leaders choose comfort over conviction and has counted the cost of every compromise. And now he is calling for a shift, a return to the floor, a return to humility, a return to righteousness. Not everyone will heed this warning. Some will take issue with it and be enraged by it. Some will even feel compelled to respond, because not everyone will discern the moment. But those who do, those who reject the bed of corruption and choose the floor of consecration, will be preserved in the shaking that is to come. Because the Lord will have his people to know, the one who sleeps on the floor cannot fall out the bed, and this bed is collapsing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, that is all I have for in-person public comment for those that have signed up.
No, ma'am. No. Ma'am, please have a seat. Have a seat. Ma'am, ma'am, please have a seat. Ma'am, please have a seat.
Madam Mayor, we have approximately 2 minutes and 22 seconds for in-person
2
comment.
minutes and 22?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If there's anyone who has not had an opportunity to speak, they can approach at this time. Madam Deputy Clerk, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 15 minutes is up on the Chelsea Gardens issue. Ma'am, if your topic is regarding Chelsea Gardens, we have hit the topic.
My topic is regarding tenant rights. That's a general topic that is separate and apart.
Ma'am, ma'am, as the chair.
It's a separate topic.
Yes, ma'am.
How is that not? I'm not talking about Chelsea Gardens. I'm talking about tenant rights.
Ma'am, hold on, Chief, I appreciate it, thank you. Ma'am, please have a seat. We've exhausted the 15 minutes.
For tenants' rights? I didn't hear
We have
you.
discussed Chelsea Gardens and tenants' rights. Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Mayor.
So we're violating First Amendment rights. Okay, got it.
Councilmember Carn?
I do respectfully disagree. I think that is a different topic. It's a broader topic, and I, for one, would like to use up the rest of the minutes. You said 6 minutes we had left?
No, sir, 2 minutes.
For in-person, we have 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And that'll leave us the remainder 6 minutes for the emailed public comments.
Do we have enough email comments that would exhaust the 6 minutes, or could we hear?
Yes, sir, I do
Councilmember, if
believe
you'd like
we
to make
do.
hold on one second. Councilmember, if you'd like to make a motion, I'm open to the motion at this time, but if you want to go through the 15 minutes, and the rest of the body is amenable to that, that's fine.
Well, I would like to make a motion to hear this young lady out. I do think that's a broader topic, so that's my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Councilmember Gay, what is your vote? You're in favor? No. You're opposed? Okay, so the motion passes with Councilmembers McKenzie and Carn in favor, Councilmember Gay opposed, and Councilmember Arnold abstaining. Ma'am, go ahead and speak.
Jessica Ingram. I would like to speak on behalf of the individual who was escorted out by police and had his First Amendment right to speak violated. Power concedes nothing without a demand. Tonight, Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie was supposed to introduce legislation to financially assist tenants with housing and moving costs. She promised to introduce this legislation after we demanded it. We demanded it when we interrupted her brunch. She was pressured to meet with us and promised to introduce our demands to a vote. But Jamel McKenzie has officially lied and betrayed tenants. We need to hold her accountable She feels that she has some loyalty, or that we have some loyalty to her, but it is tenants that she has failed to follow through with. The city ended the fiscal year with $16 million surplus, plus it's getting $100 million in rental assistance. We told Mayor Pro Tem directly that tenants collectively needed $546,000 in financial assistance. That is $8,000 per tenant. So $6,000 is for 3 months plus 3 months rent plus deposit for a new place and moving charges plus the $100,000 that the city is sitting on. This is what this is about. It's not about the image of the Mayor Pro Tem. It's about the tenants and what they need to survive and thrive. Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, you need to do better. You need to introduce these demands, which we gave you on paper directly. Full relocation assistance for all displaced tenants, 3 months rent and moving costs covered for tenants in temporary housing, and reimbursement of security deposits and last 2 months rent. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else? Madam Clerk, how much time is left?
Apologize, Madam Mayor. What was that?
I'm sorry? How much time is left?
29 seconds.
If there's anyone in the audience who wishes to speak for 29 seconds, they may. Ma'am, you've already spoken, though. It's anyone who hasn't spoken yet.
Yes, I'd like to thank the mayor and city council, and a special thanks for Councilman Joe Karn for his dedication to City Park, College Park, to Embarcadero community, putting street lights along Sullivan Road, the flower pots along Sullivan Road, Christmas party for the kids, back to school pool party for the children, community concerns with the police, helping the building of the playground with 100 Delta employees and other Embarcadero employees.
Could you say your name for the record, though?
Teresa Porter.
Thank you, Ms. Porter.
First public comment is from Russell. So this is a level of retarded I never thought I would ever hear. What sort of lazy, retarded people do you hire?
Madam Clerk, the
okay,
term,
okay, thank you.
No, I mean, it's particular words.
Okay, just do not.
No? Okay, I was going to say that.
Just skip those.
The term is offensive. Please
Okay,
do not.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree. This is beyond despicable. So the lying woman, was she arrested and charged with making a false statement? The sort of thing that often gets innocent citizens killed? I bet not. I absolutely, totally hope everyone involved loses qualified immunity, gets sued, and loses everything. I would absolutely hate to see the good people of your town pay for this. First, they pay salaries for your staff. As a result of incompetence and poor management, they are clearly not getting what they pay for, and if there is legal action, must pay for court time, lawyers, and settlement. How hard can it be to check if someone is actually disabled? Do applicants have to fail school and an IQ test to be police officers? So all it takes to be arrested and thrown on the floor is for a crazy person to make a complaint. Lieutenant also needs to be sued. What a total lazy individual. Door sign said 208 Major Ward. Are you the complaints department? A lot of good it will do complaining to you about your conduct. The only guy there that was intelligent was a very professional officer who was dismissed by the lieutenant. Due diligence is the thing that gets done before even getting a warrant. Arresting a chap in a wheelchair who is paraplegic, who clearly has a massive muscle issues is most certainly not due diligence. In fact, it is the exact polar opposite. Kicked indoor, this guy can't even stand, let alone kick. Just that fact should have hit the reset and pause button. Personally, I want Lieutenant Ward to lose everything he has and everything he ever will, including his pension. My solace is that you will eventually be judged by God. You're in charge, so you're equally guilty. I strongly suggest you all repent in a hurry. Next public comment is from Brenda Reeves. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. This is Charles and Brenda Dill with FOA of College Park, Georgia. We are reaching out to you for your support of Agenda Item D. We certainly appreciate all you have done for us so far and continue to solicit your support as we continue on this journey. Sylvia Dunlap. I am in favor of item D. Next public comment from Gloria Abdullah. Greetings, Mayor Motley Broom, Mayor Pro Tem McKenzie, Councilpersons Karn, Arnold, and Gay. Agenda item D is the proposal of a significant importance to our community. I strongly encourage you to consider its impact and lend your support by voting in favor of it. Your vote can play a pivotal role to initiate the transformation of Price Barbershop and the neighboring house into a vibrant space that honors and showcases the rich history of College Park's original African American community. Thank you for your consideration. Gloria Abdullah, Chairperson, FOA. Quinn Goydish. The tenants united will never be defeated, and I believe that. My comrades here from the Party of Socialism and Liberation. Next public comment. Madam Mayor, it's the same topic.
Okay.
And that is all for the emailed public comments.
All right, so it's up to the body if they wish to hear those comments, because they're outside of the 15 minutes. If there's a motion.
How many more do we have?
There's two, is that right?
Two, yes, Madam Mayor.
I'm fine with hearing the both.
If there's a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Council Member. Is there a second? Motion dies for lack of a second.
Next agenda item is public hearing. First public hearing item is item 10A. Motion to set public hearing for June 16th, 2025 for a request to rezone property located at 2099 Hospitality Way, College Park, Georgia, from HC Hospitality Campus and BP Business Park to HC and for conditional height permit. This item is requested by Lenice Lyons, City Planner. This item is located in Ward 2.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 10B is 2025 to 2026 recommended budget presentation, presented by Finance Director Terry Jackson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am pleased to present the City of College Park 2025-2026 recommended budget. In this budget, we are committed to maintaining a balance between careful spending and thoughtful investment, ensuring that every dollar is allocated effectively to enhance the well-being of our residents. We are committed to ensure that policies and programs outlined in this budget not only resonate with our vision, but also contribute to a resilient and thriving community. Our mission statement serves as the foundation for the city. It articulates our core purpose, articulating why we exist and what we aim to achieve. This clear definition not only guides internal decision-making, but also communicates our unique value proposition to residents. On the other hand, our vision statement inspires and galvanizes our workforce. A compelling vision statement fosters motivation among employees and helps in aligning their individual roles with the broader strategic goals of the city. When everyone understands and buys into our vision, it generates a sense of purpose, enhances performance. Integrating a strong mission statement, an inspiring vision statement, and a well-planned budget is crucial for the city's organizational success. Mayor and Council, before we dive further into the budget presentation, I would like to introduce Mr. Ed Wall, the city's financial advisor. He will share insights on the current state of the economy and its impact on the city's budget. Mr. Wall, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. Next slide, please. So, next slide, please, ma'am. So I want you to see the United States Treasury yield curve. The x-axis shows you the interest rates, and the y-axis going to the right shows the number of years, the term. Normally, the yield curve slopes gently up. A short term has the lowest interest rate, and a long term has the highest interest rate. And y'all know this from a 30-year mortgage versus a 15-year mortgage or certificates of deposit at the bank. But look how the Federal Reserve started raising rates 2 years ago, and then rates have gone up further since April 1st when President Trump started raising the tariffs. He called it Liberation Day. And notice how the short-term interest rates are up, but the long-term rates went up 80 basis points in the last month. And so the Federal Reserve is supposed to be lowering rates, but they haven't. Next slide, please, ma'am. So this is the 10-year U.S. Treasury. So many things in America's economy are priced off of that. Look at all that squiggly line. And that's just November 24 election to today. What is the one thing that jumps out at you as you look at it? It's chaotic. And so why do you think it jumps around so? Every morning when President Trump tweets, something happens to the world and it swoons. And so Mr. Jackson had asked me to give you all this take on the economy, and you'll see in a minute why he wanted me to do that. As you forecast a budget from July 1 to June 30th of 2026, many years we feel good. We think sales taxes are going to go up, property taxes are going to go up, business license fees are going to go up, people are going to build stuff. You don't know what's going to happen. Next slide, please. Here's what the stock market has done. Doesn't that look chaotic as well? And look how it declined starting in April when the tariffs got announced. They call a trade on Wall Street the taco trade. Y'all heard that? And President Trump doesn't like that at all. Next slide, please, ma'am. Here's the inflation rate. The good thing is it did come down as the Federal Reserve started raising rates during the pandemic. And you can see the last month it was around 2.3%. And so inflation isn't keeping interest rates high. The Federal Reserve wanted to keep it around 2%. But what is keeping interest rates high is if the tariffs stay into effect, inflation would heat up. Next slide, please, ma'am. Here's the U.S. prime rate. So the people who come and invest in your community and borrow money at the bank, the prime rate is the best rate. So a lot of people borrow money at prime plus something. Look how it has gone up from the pandemic, COVID, when the Fed started raising rates. It hit a high of 8.5%. You know, the Fed lowered the rates back in, I think, November, maybe December, and it's now 7.5%. Next slide, please, ma'am. Just a synopsis of the tariffs. I won't read all that, but you all know it went, the Chinese tariffs went from, I don't know, 10 or 15% to 145%, and then they raised theirs to 125%. And then President Trump, a day or two, a week or two later, lowered it down to 50%. The overall tariffs, that first bullet for the U.S. as a whole versus all other countries, the average is going from 2.5% to 27%. Walmart, you know, buys a lot of their stuff from China, and they said they were going to have to pass that price increase along to the consumer, and President Trump jumped all over. And so nobody knows what's going to happen with all the tariffs. He's announced 50% on steel. He announced 50% on the European Union, but they're negotiating. It's very chaotic. Next stage, next slide. So what about what else is happening in Congress? Well, grants were eliminated or cut out entirely. Huge cuts to federal office buildings, which we have a big one here in town. Cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, cuts to food stamps, cut to federal workforce. Local government, you, churches and charities, are going to have to pick up the slack in the shortfall of the safety net program going forward. So I think there'll be more demands on your services. Who knows what your revenue will do. So my advice to you about the future and not able to forecast it, I'm not alone. Look at all these big companies who have public stock, and they just completely withdrew their forecast for their revenues and said, we ain't got a clue what it's going to be. Ford, General Motors, Mercedes, Volvo, Delta, American, JetBlue, Air Canada, Alaska. Next slide, please, ma'am. There's a whole list of other companies. They just completely took back their guidance for what they thought revenues might be for the rest of this fiscal year. For them, it'd be a calendar year to December 31. And they just don't have an idea. Next slide, please, ma'am. So the takeaways. Number one is chaotic. No way to predict what's going to happen. Number two, conservative budgeting and prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Three, absolutely no way to predict what will happen for your sales tax collections, your property tax collection, your electricity purchases, water and sewer purchases with any degree of certainty. So I would think you'd want sort of a flat budget as you go forward. Best case, President Trump is bluffing on the tariffs and he decides to bring it back to the way it was. Inflation stays at the 2% range. Fed begins to lower interest rates sometime this summer. Sales tax collections go higher like they have every year since before the pandemic. Property values and property tax collections go higher due to a positive economic environment and people building stuff with lower interest rates. Businesses begin to deploy capital with certainty restored. That's a key thing about businesses investing in stuff. They want certainty. What's the worst case? Inflation increases due to the tariffs. Interest rates go up by the Federal Reserve to stop the inflation as a direct result of the tariffs. Unemployment goes up as businesses cut back. Sales tax collections go down due to folks not able to purchase goods and services. Property prices decline due to lack of demand and property tax collections. The last bullet, cost of the things that the city must buy goes up with the inflation and supply chain issues. As I'm reading the worst case, I want y'all to know I'm channeling Ambrose Clay. Don't I sound like it? Next slide, please. And that's it. So any questions about the future forecast?
Any questions from the body?
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Wall. Mayor and Council, the recommended budget of is 219.5 million. It is a 10% increase from the previous fiscal year. And this budget simply, the trends that we're seeing is that revenues are growing, and that's causing this budget to grow. Of that 219.5 million, 54.5 million is the general fund. 165 million is related to enterprise and special funds. Under budget priorities, we listed a few priorities which are important with regard to building a budget that is sound and fiscally responsible. Of those priorities, we've listed 5 altogether. First, public safety. This budget maintains funding for police and fire services to ensure adequate equipment and training. Second, infrastructure improvements. We've allocated funds for improvements and repairs of roads, bridges, water, and sewer systems. With regard to economic development, this budget calls for support to local businesses through grants and promotes initiatives to attract new business and investments to the city. This budget also, with regard to parks and recreations, it enhances funding for local parks and recreation facilities to promote healthier lifestyles. And lastly, this budget with regard to technology and innovation, we've implemented smart city initiatives to improve service delivery through technology. And I'll give an example of that. For the new fiscal year, our IT department is planning to refresh city equipment across all of the city. And so this refresh would involve employees getting new laptops and desktop stations as needed. On to key priorities of the 2025-2026 recommended budget. This budget does not use budget carry forward funds to balance the general fund budget. That is important to note because many cities can't say that. And so the city of College Park is absolutely fortunate to list this as one of key priorities in its budget. The millage rate is expected to remain flat. This budget contains funding for community enhancement. Community enhancement funds are designed to support projects and initiatives that improve overall quality of life in a community, benefiting residents, local businesses, and the environment. These funds are used to stimulate tourism, promote economic growth, create jobs, and enhance the attractiveness of a community. This budget also contains a 4% cost of living adjustment to employees. And so by coming to that particular percentage, we were able to check surrounding cities and neighbors to see what they were doing. I can say that the city of East Point is planning a 3% raise for its employees, and the city of South Fulton, I believe, is planning a 4% raise for its employees. In addition to that, Mayor and Council, for potential cost savings, we've identified two areas where we can get savings. So one is new consideration for new hire positions. We're asking that those be postponed until January 2026. We believe that the cost savings generated from this component can generate a little over $600,000. In addition, some of the budget contains capital outlays, which we found possible reductions in police, fire, and public works. Those cost savings would be a little over $481,000. Total cost savings we're projecting to be $1 million over the entire budget. And lastly, contingencies, which the mayor and council is already aware of. Contingencies exist when revenues exceed expenses. And so as of this budget reading, the contingencies is at 6.4. Moving on to revenue projections. The 2025-2026 recommended budget is showing signs of growth, primarily due to an increase in revenue. And I want to emphasize that because it's often thought because your budget goes up that you spending more money. In this situation, the city has more money that it can spend or that it has to spend. And so with that being said, enterprise funds continue to make up a large share of the revenue for the city at $72 million, followed by the general fund at $54 million and special revenue funds at $47.1 million. Yeah. Revenues exceed expenses. And so that's how we get these contingencies. So I'll give an example. Yeah. So, well, that's how, it's been communicated previously. When revenues are up, the goal is to balance the budget. And so that's where we use the contingency. So, we're ready to get that. Yes. All of them. The 2025-2026 recommended budget use public departments. So this pie chart depicts the use of public funds for the recommended budget. This budget maintains funding for essential services, prioritizing areas deemed necessary by the main council to include public safety and public works. This budget includes funding for grants, debt services, economic development, IDA, and convention center investment. And that concludes my presentation. What did that mean? Questions, comments? Questions, Mr. Jackson?
Thank you very much. It's very self-explanatory and what we're doing very well. So my comments is Councilor DePark?
Ed.
Talked about the increase in steel rules. That's something I would like to see. Obviously, we can't leave it out. I think when you raise your salaries, you raise your expectations as far as what you expect to see. And we are in this community. What I
great. Last time we did this, it's planning in the other direction. Nobody in the city, I don't want to see them making less than $20 an hour across the board. So that 4%, you need to make sure that's covered. And the rest is fine. You follow what I'm saying? I hope you understand exactly what I'm asking about. So that it's clear. It's good to give folks raises. And if you're doing pretty good and you're making $60,000 to $70,000, 4% raise is great. But at the end of the day, if you're making $16 an hour, or $18 an hour, $1 or $2 makes a significant, big difference week to week for that person. And when you're on the upper end, $1 or $2 doesn't make that much of a difference. It's great to have. But on the lower end, the increases mean a lot more folks that are struggling now. This is why I would like this 4% fee to make sure that everybody is at the base of $20 an hour to go up to year. So I want to see a formula that calculates and looks at that and see exactly what that looks like within each group. Based on the way we did it last time, I think that's a fair deal that will get us back to where it's at with everybody. With everybody's covered. So I want to make sure that happens. And the other thing is all our police department. Chief, I know we've been working out there, and we've got some new crime initiatives pushing out. Your positions right now, I know we were put, there was a freeze placed on some positions almost 2 years ago at this point. I understand in this budget we're talking about no new hires. Consideration. Well, you do have the positions that are open right now.
I have 8. I have 8.
And how we're looking at those in the pipeline?
We are aggressively recruiting. I have an excellent background in recruitment. Yesterday we had 2 certified that started with College Park. They went to another agency, but the great work that they see that we're doing here in College Park, and they have decided to come back home. So we have 2 certified that start today, and we're aggressively recruited. And my desire is to have the 8 filled by December.
That's at least 8 teachers for front. Those aren't considered new hires.
Okay, so we can continue with our efforts.
Well, I think we should. And I just want to make sure that those are in process, this year and moving on through the process. The police department has probably one of the longest onboarding processes within the department now. So with that being considered, if you've got them in the pipeline, I want you to be able to keep going in the pipeline. Now, once you feel it,
it would be my desire to come back before city manager and mayor and council and ask for those frozen positions that we have frozen, that we could unfill those and continue our efforts.
Well, you fill those 8, and it'll be probably under the year. If you do fill them, you come back on, and you're going to have my support to freeze those positions. So back up to capacity and the close slots that you got. Keep working on it and keep making progress. And at the end of the day, we have to kind of depend on some of our core needs that we got over there. We are hospitality city, but cleanliness, in terms of public works, government our efforts to do it, and obviously public safety is always the
the Christmas bonuses into the budget. Financially, should we remember to add that this year?
Yes, it is built into the budget.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we did that. So we're going to do Christmas bonuses and then 4%. Is that what you have calculated? That's right. And do we have an idea on how many employees we have that are making less than $20 an hour?
I'll have to get what they are.
Does it make sense that we just go ahead and adopt some type of policy where we set our minimum wage at a certain rate?
I would recommend it.
Maybe we can do something like some of our sister cities. I think, was it Forest Park, which was set their rate at what, 23? Do you think that we can get what our sister cities are doing and see if we can come up with something where our minimum wage is definitely no less than 20, but if we can get it up to somewhere between 20 and 25 so we can be competitive? That would definitely address some of housing crimes concerns.
Yes, we can do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Well, what it does is contingencies is spread across general fund, enterprise fund, and special fund. And so before when we started doing the department meetings, many of the council department meetings, that number was around, I believe it was 9.7 million. And so, now it's lower at 6. The number is now at 6.4 million. So because we added additional spending to the budget to include the cost of living adjustment, some of the other adjustments that were requested by main council during those meetings, that caused the contingency number to go down.
I know we're going to get you but I know that
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Just a quick update. You should all have received a quick. I'm sorry, Albert Butler Bank's coming right. Your neighbor across the street as well too, and a proud member of this community. You should all receive a quick update status of the audit this morning. We are progressing extremely well. I think that by our next council meeting, we will have a solid of those findings to address. And I do want to give Mr. Jackson some major kudos in the process of getting the audit where we are today. There will be some things we do need to discuss and some things that we do need to make sure that everyone is aware of. However, I think with Mr. Jackson working with us in tandem, we are in a good runway to make sure that in the future periods that the city will be in very, very good shape. So that's a quick status update, and I think, again, thank you for the time, and we're progressing well.
Is your audit complete?
We're basically pencils down at this point, yes. So we're in the reporting phase now.
Okay, but it's not like printed and that you can
No, it's not a full printed document ready to be submitted. So we are penciling down as far as blocking and tackling to get an actual audit work done. Yes.
We should have that on June 16th.
Thank you.
I was going to ask you where we are with the audit. So I understand the majority of things are taken care of as of last Friday. Yeah, that is correct. So I'm hoping we technically keep up with voice. Hopefully wrapping up maybe this week first semester. Yeah, that's my goal. As soon as possible. Looking at the budget, the food distribution contract, last year we had the $50,000 contract for food distribution throughout statewide with April. I didn't see it in the budget. I wanted to just make sure it's still in there. Obviously, that means it's not going anywhere, especially with the dealing with throughout this year and the shortage of it. So I want to make sure that's there. I know we're taking out of last year. I'll double check that. And again, we balance this budget without putting into fund reserves, is that right? For the general fund, yeah. And without going into any contingency measures as well. No. We had to use contingency measures to balance the budget. So right now, the contingency reserve, as a result of this budget, would be 6.4 million. About that is what we usually leave on the table. All right. Okay.
Mr. Jackson?
Yeah.
You said that we did not have some of the reserves in reserves. What about the enterprise?
Enterprise funds, yes. Some of them, yes, they had to use they fund down budgetary forward monies, which is stable, from giving you, especially for some of the enterprise funds, sanitation. You are aware that this year that there was an issue in their expenses exceeded revenues. And so, that's the reason for my asking the mayor council to do the utility bill audit for the new fiscal year so you can see what's going on with sanitation and
In regard to but I will come back to it if you want to tell me the question. Oh, actually, I don't know what it was. One of the concerns that I have in regard to making sure that we are giving everyone $20 an hour is what happens to people who are at or near that mark right now. So we had discussed doing a salary study so that we were able to ensure that we didn't have a wage compression that occurs especially towards the lower end of the scale. Are you and your team able to take a look at that and not just figure out what gets us to 20, but what would make everyone equitable along that range?
I think it's going to be effective in this fiscal year. We'll work with HR to make that happen. I think we have some time to use that. So getting a study done. I've never done one before, so I'm just super assistant for that.
I also wanted to ask you a question. I'm interested in creating a school. You have to get in for the lowest paid individuals. person just may not understand what it means to work together and to work all both together. I don't want pay compression to be an issue in terms of making sure the lowest paid employees are at or above $20 an hour pay compression or not. There is no pay compression issue for any significance of that low rate. If someone has a problem with that, I don't know what to tell them. If you're so worried about what the other person is making, looking over their paycheck, see what they're making compared to yours, and you think they're getting too close to you, this might not be the place for you. My advice to any employee that has a problem with pay compression at that low level of scale, they need to focus on their own job and keep their eyes on what they're doing with their job. And if they do a good job, maybe they'll get a raise. So, again, I want to make sure that happens. I'm speaking for myself, and I'm speaking for a vast amount of our city employees who I think need that food. I don't want to wait on a pay study before we do this. I want to pass a big budget. I think it's reasonable, and I think it will make everybody in the country morale, work ethic, feel a little bit better about it.
Councilmember Hood?
Yes, that's currently what's being proposed.
I want to do both. We want to do both. I want to still make sure that 4% the lowest paid salary workers make it, all of the lowest paid are at least at $20 an hour. And everybody else falls in. 4% fine, but I want that covered first. Make sure that you still need maybe 4% price.
We may want HR to also look at if that's a bit concern about compression. Maybe we put some additional policy in place where there is at a minimum a certain percentage difference between the supervisor or manager and their employee. So maybe a range of somewhere between 7 and 10%. Then that way, if there is a situation that comes up where we're lifting someone to where the minimum wage is $25 or $20 an hour, if there is going to be some type of compression there, that we also look at addressing that with some type of equity pot to make sure that the supervisor and employee, their salaries don't, the employees doesn't exceed the supervisor's salary.
Supervisors. That's what I was doing. The problem with that is that you have some folks that are probably going to be functioning up against that. So I think what Arnold's point is well taken, that we just have to recognize that we don't want someone saying, I'm doing 3 times the work and getting $1 an hour more. So we just need to make, we've got to look a little bit more broadly than just bumping the folks who are at the minimum up. It's got to be a little bit more comprehensive. That's the cost, and the cost on that is going to be more than just a 4% cost of the board. So we can let us know what that looks like. It's going to cost more for us to bump people up if we are also doing this. And that is any other comments? All right, so at this time I'm going to declare the public hearing open. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, on the budget. Can you start this time?
Hello, Mayor and Council. Right now you're saying no, no, the old grumpy guy coming up to brag about the budget. So my wife suggested that I tell you a little bit about my background, and maybe you think a little more about what I'm getting ready to say here. Don't worry, this is not going to last nearly as long as the average proclamation. I've led organizations of many hundreds of people in chaotic and stressful situations. I've run the financial affairs of construction companies for over 45 years, never missed a payroll, and you all know the construction business. Things go up and down, and it's really rough. You need to be able to get down. I'm reasonably functioning, ready to look at numbers and financial statements and that sort of stuff. I presented to bankers. I pretty much know what's going on here, despite how complicated the city's affairs are. That being said, still a grumpy old guy's got to write about the budget. To the council of City Park, while much of the groundwork of the proposed budget as prepared at the department level is sound and shows excellent understanding of the requirements, and the much needed 4% across the board raise is included, there are major issues remaining. The roots of the budget problem come from the January 2024 power grab by the current council. This allowed two critical missteps to enter our governance. First is the abhorrent practice of the euphemistically named community enhancement. Put whatever window dressing you want on it, but these are set aside or simply slush funds to be dispensed at the whim of each council person. The proposed budget has hidden these set-asides in various places, but it seems the total is some $4.5 million. The current year's community enhancement includes a variety of giveaways, self-serving press events, blatant violations of the gratuity clause, which is government gifts to individuals, and a spoil system payments for claims with the council. Thanks for supporting me. Can I give you a contract on some pet project? There is no breakdown of what makes up the total in disbursement, and disbursement is hidden by the use of the consent agenda. Yes, there are some legitimate projects funded here. Councilman Gay's paving projects in Ward 4. But since they are solely at the discretion of a single person, they suffer from sub-optimization. That's where one ward benefits, where the city as a whole suffers or is less efficient. The money for these community enhancements comes at the expense of core city functions. The 2024-25 budget cut 6% from all departments and cut 12 police and fire positions to pay for these slush funds. This year's money comes from denying needed extra positions, institutionalizing the previous public safety cuts, slashing of repair and maintenance requests from departments, and an apparent artificial additions to the top-line revenue estimates. More on that later. The second major misstep of the current council was the return of the micromanagement and over-direction of employees. This started with the abrogation of the January 2024 city manager's contract terms, resulting in a $140,000 severance. The overreach of the council into employees' affairs quickly led to the dismissal or resignation of many of our best employees. How does that affect the proposed budget, you ask? Well, few with any corporate knowledge are available to formulate this budget. The three primary people responsible for a budget are the city manager, the finance director, and the HR director. The finance director, while very well versed, is brand new to the city, and both the city manager and HR director were terminated during the budget development. We are just short of flying dot line in this budget. Back to the seemingly unrealistic increase of total revenue. If you inflate expected income, you can increase spending, at least until less actual money comes in. By the way, the operating budget surplus of $16 million we're talking about is primarily because employees have left. If you inflate the expected income, you can increase spending at least until less actual money comes in. The initial proposed budget revenue anticipated an increase of some 10% from last year's budget. Other than the electric fund, which had well-documented assumptions and a minor share of top-line increases, no justification has been presented to these increases. Multiple requests for explanation have gone unanswered. On top of the initial proposed total revenue, the current adjusted budget released last week magically adds another $2 million to revenue. Oh, and our last year's audit, authenticating the figures used to create this year's budget, is not yet reported. Savvy observers know that when an audit is late, it often means problems. A side note, our auditors, which are very competent it appears, are looking at the city for the first time, primarily at the impetus of Councilman Carlin, and despite the non-existent financial corporate knowledge base previously mentioned, which would have allowed them to come up to speed rapidly. So, the current budget slush funds are justified by unexplained revenues prepared by inexperienced employees based on dubious prior reports. How can we trust these numbers? Further, clouding the fiscal picture is the uncertainty of the overall economic outlook. Ed Wall, our longtime financial advisor, in his presentation we just saw, hits the nail on the head, I'm paraphrasing here, when he says, absolutely no way to predict any of our revenue streams, and recommending conservative budgeting, prepare for the worst. This proposed budget is in no way conservative. I can only add that the College Park is especially vulnerable to overall economic downturn, with much of our income dependent on the hospitality and travel industry. It is highly possible that passing the budget as presented may have dire results. If we spend funds for council slush projects without offsetting revenues due to any of the above reasons, all citizens will suffer. Councilman Gay and Karn are up for re-election against well-qualified opponents. Expect large vote-buying expenditures to protect their positions. When money doesn't come in per the dream budget, we will have to cut core city services. Think less often garbage pickup, fewer police on patrol, etc. Additionally, the one tax that the council has control over, property tax, will go up. Live in one of the apartments and think the rent's too damn high. Now, well, wait until your landlord's taxes go up. Got a new home and had to squeeze a little to make the numbers work? What happens when your property taxes skyrocket? Remember, Councilman Carm spearheaded the opt-out of our cities on property tax at the state level. Sky's the limit. How can we avoid the above? This is actually some hopeful stuff at this point. How can we avoid the above? Cut the revenues back onto the 2024 levels of $197 million. Eliminate the community enhancement budget. Remember, in what's printed here, they don't even say what these are for specifically. So what will we miss? And cut back on citywide events by, say, a third. That will give a start to balancing. I have little expectation that the council will be as responsible as to do this. So here's an alternate suggestion on how to mitigate overspending. Set up mechanisms to check income versus expenses in near real time. Curtail spending early and aggressively if income falters. Specifically, as part of passing this budget, include language that 1. No more than 25% of any council discretionary funds may be spent or committed in any one quarter. 2. Set up a revenue flows receipt schedule based on past history and budgeted income. If total receipts fall more than 5% below schedule, expenses are commensurately curtailed by action at the next mayor and council meeting. And 4, prioritize the above cuts from community enhancements, citywide events/parties, and mayor and council discretionary account bills. Report all the above monthly during city manager comments. Yours for sound financial government.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, and citizens. I think it's important that the government realizes that the money that you are governing over belongs to the people. You know, Jesus was talking to those who were on the left of him. He said, when I was hungry, you didn't feed me. Come on, brother. Some people think that talk spiritual is not the budget. When I was naked, you did not clothe me. When I was sick, you did not come and visit me. They were a little baffled and wondered, Master, when were you in this condition? And we did not come to your aid. And Jesus said, if you did not do it to the least of these, my brethren, you did not also do it unto me. And you all swear it in the office with your hand on the Bible, which I just quoted, that you will uphold those scriptures which I quoted is the standard of good government. Now, I sat here and heard our people cry out. The least of those are College Park. Every council meeting, come back. And Brother Roderick, you hear them. Sister Tracy, you hear them. Sister Bianca, you hear them. Brother Joe, you hear them. And Sister Janelle, you hear them. But you act like you don't hear nothing. But you take $86,000 of our money, Sister Tracy, and give it to an organization. I've been here since 1982. I never heard of it. Never saw it. But not one person comes up here, Brother Joe, and speaks about how they benefited from that money that we gave to them on May 19th. Happened to be Malcolm X's birthday. Is that the kind of gift you give our people? Alive? Where the money go, Sister Tracy? Why don't you give the people a report? Because if you gave $86,000 to sage hands, and this corrupt slumlord that's in your word, who is the devil? Because the Bible said the devil's a liar. What makes people think that you're honest with the budget and the budget is true when you're not true about $86,000? You'll sell your soul for $86,000? And we'll all have to stand before God, so we can die tomorrow. So I don't trust you all. You get behind closed doors and you make deals on the post. Because my people are suffering. And you your honor, you have to see your people suffering. God will judge you for that. And you think that my voice is just a voice. I stand with God. God is with me. Because I'm not a whore for money. And you brand new, I never had this before in our community until it was election time. If you love your people, you get out your seat and you go into knock on doors. and you find out who needs help, and you get that sage hand right next to you and say, help my brother with this or with that. And you, I don't know if you're back, Pete, and you got $20,000 you're going to discuss. What you going to do with the money? You going to give it right back to the same ones who ain't getting nothing for it? Are you getting it? Because they ain't getting nothing. You work for it. And I'm sick and tired of you all playing games. And Joe, you've been around a long time. You know Pete's a robber. You know Pete's a slumlord. But you politic. And you play games. I don't care about if you don't like me. Because you don't pay my bills. I have never begged one of you for nothing. But you talk about a budget that I told you, Michelle Johnson, for example, had Black History Month. Let me tell you how corrupt y'all are. You let her, don't even live in College Park, reside over Black history, a white woman? No, ma'am, I did not say nothing wrong. I said a white woman. Ma'am, don't you stop me for freedom of speech. I'm saying to you, I said a Caucasian, white, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All I'm asking you is to focus on the budget.
Ma'am, I'm speaking on the budget. I'm about to talk about the budget.
Please.
I am talking about the budget. Don't dictate to me how to speak, though. I'm going to talk about the budget of Black History Month of 2024. Yes, Chief. I respect my black people. And I respect you too, man. But don't talk to me to please white people. Now, don't talk to me to please your white citizens. Please everybody. Black History Month, I did an opens record request with the chief clerk. I was on the Black History Month committee. I know how y'all play politics in the movement. Joe said that to Michelle Johnson, give the board a report, it's their money. She didn't give a report because you black. And white people don't listen to black leadership. She didn't do it. And you didn't follow up to make sure she did. So I asked, $50,000. Some money came from Fulton County. I asked Terry Jackson, where are you? He'll tell you. He gave me a report. In March, Black History Month was over. In February, from $50,000, he only got invoices of $10,000. Where's the $40,000? He couldn't answer for it. I got the report. You see the connection, the $86,000 to her that no one knows about? Michelle Johnson over the Park and Recreation, $50,000 that she don't give a transparent report even to the Black History Board. She's a white woman over Black history. That's ludicrous. That's insane. But it's our money. And Michelle Johnson doesn't even live in College Park. She lives in a sundown town. A nearly 91% white community. But you find all these black people that came up here. But she lied. And she was dishonest. Right? With the $50,000 budget. But you all kept her on board. But all these were up here. All black were fired. But I called you, Roger Gay, said, why don't you fire? She lied on me. She went to the police and filed a false police report, which is a felony. But you're on the politics, which is corruption. Politics is corruption. And that's why when God comes, he comes with a because this guy is about God and show him. If you don't be honest and stand for our people. So I ask, when you talk about the $20,000, do you already, y'all talked about it already. We know that. We know y'all know what you're going to vote on already about the $20,000. We'll go to the same organization to make up the $100,000 that you want to give them initially. This on. If Sage Hand gave and helped people, not one person from Chelsea Garden came up and said, I got help from Sage Hands. I got assistance. But you hear our people being pushed out by a white man who don't care about black people, and you go up there and you hobnob with him, and you go and pick up a check, and you walk past the ones who are actually living in horrible conditions. Not one of them said that you came and knocked on their door, Miss Arnold. But I have a business, and I close with this. In your ward, a Kira's Cafe and a nonprofit. You said you were going to come. And there's the one who's the landlord and the property manager of slumlord. Juan Harris is the property manager. But you hobnob with him, and I had to fight to have him pick up trash in your ward. You go over there now, you see a whole bunch of trash in back of our property. I got to pick up trash. Is there a parallel with the slumlord you hobnobbing with in the plaza where I'm at and the one in Chelsea Garden? The grass all high? Where's code enforcement on Pete? Where's code enforcement on the plaza where I'm at, Joe? If the plaza where I'm at, I close with this. I got to be fair, let other people speak. If the plaza where I'm at, on Old National Derby Road, which you propose to have Juneteenth in a dump like that, it looks blighted. If it was an Alpharetta, they would have been shut it down. You will never see a plaza like that in Alpharetta bucket, but how much do you love your people? How are you going to treat the least of these? If I can't shame you, I can't change you. And I'm shaming you because I love you, whether you believe it or not. And I want to see you treat our people, the least of these. The way you treat the least, that's how I would treat you. The way you show you love Jesus, don't you talk Jesus now. Because Jesus would have been in Chelsea Gardens helping our people. So I close and say, no one would trust the budget until you prove your trustworthy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is anyone else want to speak? Anybody? All right. Public hearing is closed. Next agenda item is the consent agenda. Item 8A, consideration of an action on a request to approve Philip Michelle Inc. to replace a water main located on Kirkland Street in the amount of $159,733. This work will be done in Ward 1. This is a budgeted item from GL account number 505-440-440-54-1400, the budget fund. Item B, consideration of an action on a request to approve City Construction Inc. to 505-4400-54-1400. This work is done in Ward 2. Item E, approval to pay East Coast Grading in the amount of $71,619.66 for completed paving work on Skyline Drive conducted on May 7, 2025. This is a budgeted item, CL account number 100-4200-54-1400 community enhancement. This item is being requested by Councilman Roderick Gay. This item is in Ward 4. And item 8F, consideration of an action on a request to approve Timmy Construction Company, Inc. to remove and replace an existing 24-inch concrete form pipe in the middle of Herschel Road in the amount of $46,300. This is a budgeted item from the fund stormwater improvement DL account number 560-4250-54-770. This item is located in Ward 4. This item is being requested by Highway, Streets, and Stormwater Superintendent Raymond Cotton. Item 8G, consideration of an action to add Winthrop Drive to the current street paving contract. This item is being requested by Councilman Roderick Gay. This item is a budgeted item of CL account number 100-4200-54-1400. This is for this Ward 4. Is there a motion? Thank you, Councilmember Carney. Is there a second? Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? The question, D, did you read all of them? Some read removed. D was removed to regular session. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? That is unanimous. Item 9A. DMO presentation presented by Mercedes Miller, ATL Airport District. Good evening, Mayor and Council. City Manager. First of all, thank you all for giving us the opportunity to give this update. We've been trying to do this for a while, so I'm excited to let you know what we have going on. Next.
Every city tells a story. 3 unique communities weave a tapestry of culture, art, and unity. Welcome to a journey through spaces where diversity blooms and every soul contributes to the symphony of life. Stories unfold in every corner of these cities, with each neighborhood telling its own tale. Here, every street, every face, and every note plays a part in the grand symphony of community. This place is a canvas. Its residents are artists, painting a picture of unity and diversity. to the district, where there's harmony and diversity.
Thank you. This is our diversity video that we show outside of the state of Georgia and for most of our clients. I want them to see the diversity that we have in our three cities that make up the ATL district. We're very proud of it, and I wanted to share it with you all because I didn't know if you have seen it or if you were familiar with it. We're going to move on to the mission of the Civility Center. I know that most of you all are familiar, but the mission of the ATL Airport District is to generate economic development for the cities of College Park, Hatfield, and Union City by effectively marketing the community as a preferred tourism, convention, and meeting destination. Our vision is to be the most accessible, customer-focused destination in the United States. That's what makes the district. And then we put information about the district. You all know everything there is to know about the district, but our citizens may not. The DMO is funded by people's dollars that are spending money in the hotels and in the Airbnbs. That's how it's funded. So funding of our organization does not affect tax dollars at all. At the more beds we put in beds, it actually gives the cities money to do tourist product development so that they can do like the botanical garden, or they can do some improvements with the Welcome Center. So that is how we input money into the city. Next slide. Okay, sales report. So far, as of May 15, 2025, we have an overall sales lead of 739. We have an overall total definite room night of 111 rooms and 111,090 rooms. But the economic impact of those rooms is $114 million plus, and that's just through May 15th of 2025. Next slide. These are not all of our groups, but these are the highlighted groups. We actually have booked 49,000 rooms from Delta Airlines, which is an economic impact of $34 million. Chick-fil-A, room nights of 27,000, economic impact of $32 million. Varsity cheerleading events, they have 2 programs, and most of these events are also at the convention center. Some are in hotels only. The varsity cheer event is 3,927 rooms with an economic impact of $4.5 million. And then we have the Southern Volleyball Tournament, 3,506 rooms, $6 million economic impact. And even with the SWAC basketball, this is their first year being with us, but they really put a lot into the community. They had over 1,300 rooms. I think they used over 14 hotels with an economic impact of $1.9 million, and they're expecting their attendance to improve next year. And then the Skyhawks. The Skyhawks generate about 902 rooms. Most of those rooms are from the visiting teams with an economic impact of $4.6 million. Next slide, please. So when we talk about the marketing that we do, what I did was show some examples. These are some marketing things that we do for the Gateway Arena, the Love Basketball, the Dream, also for the Skyhawks. Some of the social media ads that we put out, we actually pay for those ads so they get noticed by more of the customers. Next slide. Okay, and then we do a lot of the marketing for the convention center. We also provide all of the money that they use to market, and we fund most of the sales trips that they do. So these are some of the groups that they've had at the convention center, and we go back, we get information from the groups, we're meeting with the groups, finding out what they need, and then we do a lot of their social media as well as some of their marketing reports. Next slide. Okay, so these are some of the things that we do for the city of College Park. And when I say we work with the staff, with the city, we come up with logos, we come up with branding, and we help them, we give them the information so they can get it out. So if they need posters, if they need banners, we help them the people that's behind the scenes that have been working with them. Next slide. These are some other college park events that we have done marketing for. Kids Fest, I think we've done Kids Fest since its beginning. The Wine Show, the Light Up the City. These are information that we put most of these flyers in the hotels, and we produce them for the city staff. Next slide, please. Some other events that we do for college park events. So not only do we do the citywide events, we're a big part of what's going on at Juneteenth. When you have the movie nights out, when you have shows, we are the ones that's in the background. And we're good with being in the background. It's our job to make our cities look good. Next slide. We also, for the marketing for the Keep College Park Beautiful, we actually worked with her. We came up with her branding, we came up with her logo, and we are part of the organization. We help her to get her volunteers. So we send out the information to help her get volunteers for when she's doing practice work or she's doing other events. Some of our 2025 strategic priorities, now I can look down because I had to look up at first because I had my readers and they broke, and I'm getting older and I can't see. So now I can see. Okay, some of our strategic priorities is to attract regional and national conventions to this area, to develop local tourism assets and partnerships, expand our digital and social media presence, and support community-based tourism initiatives. Next slide, please. Okay, some initiatives that we are working on. We're looking at a billboard opportunity on Camp Creek Parkway. We are working on a banner program for the hospitality zone for all of our cities. Councilman Gay, I saw your new banners. They look great. Hopefully we can put ours on the other side of it. But we are looking at a banner program. We are also working on a commercial. I was speaking earlier to the Mayor Pro Tem, and we were talking about advertising in the airport. And after we had the discussion, we decided it's a much better idea for us to show a commercial during the Green Game, during the Skyhawk Game. So that's what we're working on, so that we can highlight College Park. Not only the fact that the team is named after them, but then show some of the assets that you have in the city. We're doing the FIFA engagement, and I'll talk more about that later. We are working on doing some restaurant training, getting them serve safe. That's a certification we did that years ago. We want to go back to doing that, as well as doing some customer service training. And we're also working on a 3-year strategic plan, which I'm hoping to work with the city manager to get what's important to you all and what your priorities are, so that when we do our strategic plan, we're including the things that we know is important to the city. Okay, moving on. Okay, very good. Okay, for FIFA strategy, we're going to hold some College Park events, a series of events involving the local businesses. We have hotel promotions and decor programs going out, and we have digital advertising and promotion. If you all look up in the corner on the left, it gives you what our logo is going to be, since we can't really use FIFA. So we're going to do the district cup, the College Park district cup. So that's where we're going to go, and if you see our first ad, it is pictured in the district, and that's where we're going to start. Next page, please. We need your help. There are some things that we need help on with the city, and I think that it's just a communication thing with both our side and your side. So we want to work on some initiatives that will help us with better communication. Before I go into that, though, I do want to give you an update, because they have started having meetings about FIFA. So we had our first meeting, I think it was last week. We have another meeting scheduled tomorrow with the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau. I had lunch with them last week to find out what they need, so I'm always trying to get with the ACBB and the Georgia World Congress Center to find out what's going on. But so far, our team, I am on the board of directors for the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau, and they're the leading organization that's welcoming people to the area. Our Vice President of Sales, Kristen, serves on the board of directors for the Georgia Sports, the state official sports tourism marketing initiative. She sits on that board for us. And then we have Gabby, our director of marketing.
she's leading our FIFA-related efforts, working closely with the ACVD and other key stakeholders. So we kind of have our hand, we're trying to attack it in all different directions, and as soon as they have information, we have information. The one thing that we do have now is that we do have all the dates. We don't know who's going to be playing, but we do have the dates. We did check on the pricing. I don't think any of us can afford to go. I know that we can't afford to go because it is for people with serious money. But we would be doing hotel promotions to get citizens to Brickell College Park. We're doing some public events for the locals because when you do public events in FIFA, if you're doing it and it's over, I think it's over 500 or 1,000 people, you have to pay for licensing to have that event. So you can't just turn on your TV and have 1,000 people out and watch it because you have to have licensing from, I think it's from Fox or Telemundo. So we're working with them to find out what we need to do to be able to host events. And as I said, we already know the dates for 25 and 26. It's important to remember that there will not be a lot of specific information on FIFA until the end of the year. They're expecting to give us information by December of 2025. We've already been in several meetings that we have scheduled for all the matches, but knowing which team will be playing is the key. That's going to determine how many rooms and how many people we get in our area. And as soon as we have information, we will forward it to the city. Okay, I'm almost done. Things that we need your help. It would help because I consider us a partnership. If we have a link on your new website, so that when people go to your website and they're looking for hotels or looking for hospitality, they can click on the ATL district and it'll take them to all the hotels that we have in the city. I also would like to do, I guess I'm going to go on a marketing campaign to kind of explain the difference between a CBD and a chamber. There's a lot of discussion about, because I talked to Carmelita, and when I talk to her, there's people asking her about hotels. I have people asking me about marketing businesses. And what we do, we market the city to visitors to bring in tourism dollars. Our job is to make this destination a top choice for meetings, sports, and leisure travel. The Chamber of Commerce, their focus is on supporting local businesses, and their job is to help businesses grow, connect, and thrive. Give them information on how do they create a website, how do they meet more people. So what I am doing is meeting with Carmelita from the Chamber to see if together we can form some training, we can form some education forums so that we don't want to leave our small businesses out, but we want to kind of incorporate them both so that everybody's doing something. Okay, let's see. Moving on. Also, it's for chambers. Chambers are, their main responsibility is to host networking events and business training. It is to support small business growth, advocate for business-friendly policies, and organize community and business celebrations. So that's kind of their function. Our function is to promote the destination through marketing and PR. Offer support and services to event planners, as well as our students, and provide visitors guides and information. So I think everybody can see that difference. We're in the same lane, but we change lanes at some point. So that is what we are doing now. I thank you all for your time. I did send out an email. I did send out an email earlier to let you all know that the ATL Airport District got the best gateway city category from Smart Meetings. And the important thing about that is that is voted on by customers. It's not voted on by hoteliers, not voted on by city people. It's voted on by customers. So that shows that our customers are pleased with what we have to offer in our city. And also this year we will be hosting the Georgia Association of Convention and Visitors Bureau. We won that year, so we will be hosting that over in the complex early next year. I think that's it. This is my staff. I can't do anything without them. I want to thank AT and LaShanta. LaShanta is our finance person. AT is our marketing guru. So they're the brains. I'm just the mouthpiece. But I appreciate them being here with us to answer any questions. So if I don't have anything else, so if anybody has any questions, I'm available.
I don't have any questions. Just comments. the interview and the contract is to include as well today. Just looking forward to the things that we discussed moving forward. So I'm excited. Thank you again for the fantastic presentation. Appreciate you.
Great presentation. Looking forward to more dialogue, more communication. Both sides, exactly what we're all working on.
Well, your city needs to send out about 8 emails, so I am connected to everybody now. Okay, thank you all.
You're awesome, Mr. Davis. I want to congratulate you on the smart city designation. That's you.
I really don't think it'll have an effect because they are going to be transporting people over here when they're working on the farm. They've already set up transportation sort of like they did with Marta when they took Marta down, and they'll bring people over. If they expand the train, I think it would be great because it'll take people further down. Any form of transportation that improves an area is always great for hospitality because of transportation there, then my hope is that development follows. Actually, downtown Atlanta is building something like a Civility down on the They're building something exactly like that. If you, for instance, Councilman Farley talking about today, when you get off at the airport in Vegas, before you can get to your hotel, you pass the top off. Some people, when they have a flight that's laying over, they'll go play a couple rounds of golf and go back. As I told them today, we have to create things on Main Street that's going to draw people there. This weekend I was over on Highland. So Highland has a restaurant. In the back of the restaurant they have a park. In the park they have seats, they have TVs, they have a bar there. So if you're on the Beltline, you can take a walk, or you can stop, you can have a drink, you can go watch TV, you can watch sports. We've got to have things on Main Street that keeps people there. So when you look at all the people that's at the convention center, if you go up to Camp Creek, if it's a cheerleading event, our cheerleaders are up on Camp Creek because they have somewhere to eat, they got something to do, and they have somewhere to shop. And those are what keep people in your city and keep your dollars in your city. Because for me, I want you to lay your head in the bed, but I also want you to spend your money here. But we have to be able to bring development here where people want to spend their money. Me, I would like to see a premium outlet in Square. But that's me. I'm a shopper. But that's something that we don't have on this side of town. The closest premium outlet we have is way on the other side of Minneapolis. And the next one is way down at Chamber Outlet, down to 75 South. We don't have anything near the airport today. So for stuff like that, me as a shopper, even if I'm going to the airport, I'll stop, do some shopping, I'll leave early, go do some shopping, then go to the airport. So we've got to have things that's going to draw people in. We need things for people to do. This West is going to be very important for us because we have the hotels, we have all the development of the hotels, but what do they do in between? I would love to see a Top Golf or something similar. It doesn't even have to be there, but that's something that draws people to our area. Our entertainment venue, where people can go, they can play games, it gives, because those fathers that's sitting over for the cheerleading event, what we used to do is create lounges for them. So we put TVs in there, we put a bar in there to give the dads something to do. Well, what if the dads had something to do over at Civility? Their kids are over here at competition and they're spending money right across the street. So I am very interested to see what's going to go into it.
I just
We include all the hotels because we get motel names from most of the hotels. Some of the hotels are Old National, we do not, because if they're extended stays, once they stay over 30 days, we don't get hotels from them. But they usually don't have availability for the groups that we have. Now, the hotels that's over on Sullivan Road, we do. When we send out a lead, we're not just, because a lot of times the conviction center is full, and those hotels are full. So what we try to do is build that up first, so it pushes the pressure out into the other hotels and other areas. I don't know what hotel you're in. Oh, you mean the one at the airport? Well, it's in College Park, so we'll get hotel motel tonight. From my understanding, in the beginning they were going to build a lot of space with it, and I don't think that the space is going to be as big as they had planned in the beginning. But it really doesn't hurt what's going on the campus. It just gives us more hotel motel rooms. Any other questions? Thank you all so much. And thank you for allowing us to serve you.
Presentation, Old National Merchant Association, presented by Emmanuel Rainey, sponsored by Councilwoman Tracy Arnold.
Good evening, Mayor Council. Always good to see you all, former colleagues as well. It's an honor to stand speaking behind the stage. She's doing such a great job with the DMO and her new position, new role there. One thing she said at the end that I would like to just make sure we understand is good to work with you all. As the president of the Old National Merchants Association, as the president for the last 4 years, it has been good to work with the city of College Park. But I would like to say, it's better seen if you can be considered for the Old National and Garvey Road corridor. We have the hotels, as you said, Councilman Gay. We have the hotels on the Sullivan Road corridor, and I would disagree with Mercedes on that. They may offer hotels on the Sullivan Road corridor, but we are shunned away from, most people are shunned away from Old National. And the reason why is that there are numerous reasons, cleanliness, things that need to be addressed, because they've been left out for so long. And I understand there have been efforts that are going towards Virginia Avenue, that are going towards Main Street, and you've seen those differences over the years. I've seen the differences in Main Street and how you all have told you to make sure it looks a certain way. I've seen the differences on Virginia Avenue, that you made sure that the facade looks different than it used to. It doesn't look like 1980 anymore. And it was fine in 1980, but in the year 2025, it looks better. People go there. You're open up business. So I would like to move the floor ahead with my presentation. Thank you. The Old National Corridor is basically that realm in which Mercedes talked about when she said a chamber.
We are that organization that is dedicated to Old National. Most chambers, we have a Fulton County Chamber, South Fulton Chamber. They are dedicated to City of South Fulton, College Park, Union City, Meadow, Santa Lucia Hills. They're dedicated to everywhere. However, we are dedicated to Old National. If you all do not know, Old National consists of, we concentrate on the two cities. City of College Park, City of South Fulton. You all have been our partners and have truly been a major stakeholder in what we do. So our organization itself, it offers the networking opportunities, creates engagement with the two cities, which needs to be done more. We have two cities, two standout cities, City of College Park, City of South Fulton. We have to have relationships with each other because College Park is actually the gateway to South Fulton. We are the gateway. College Park is that gateway. For Sullivan Road, Garvey Road, Oldville, Cook, Phoenix Boulevard, those corridors have to be maintained. They have to be looked at. They have to be considered. We want to make sure those businesses, and many of them are mainstays in our organization. We have Department of Labor, we have Central Station, City of College Park, Davis, Jackson Transportation, Hilton Hotel, Embassy Suite, Midway Missionary Baptist Church, Judge Kenny Brown Willis, Foundation, Rapper Lot, Trainers and Compound. We have numerous organizations. That's just the name of few. Those organizations are stalemates in our team. They make sure that College Park isn't overlooked and South Fulton wants to do all that good stuff. People are saying, what about College Park? So we make sure we include College Park council members, we include Councilman Spencer Arnold, we include Councilman Joe Carn, we're looking to include Councilman Roger Gate and Janelle McKenzie. Just last month, I believe we had Biden President really speak at our membership meeting. So we're looking to make sure Old National Nurses Association represents the city of College Park and includes College Park in all of that, what it's trying to do. And we got to understand what we're trying to do in serving the community. We're trying to build economic stability for all these businesses that come into the city of College Park. For example, how many chicken and fish restaurants do we have on that corridor? It's numerous. We have to find some businesses that seek out where people, when they come to the convention center, they can come down there and see other stuff. City of South Fulton got Audrey Gardner coming there. They've got other businesses. But we have to, as a city, create avenues for people to come up into to their other plaza where we have a movie theater that's been closed since 1989. That's right. I mean, we argued about the Target for years. But that movie theater shut down the entire same time. So we have to consider that, and that's an effect on businesses. So when businesses come, they see these entities, and they look for reasons how to get treated. So we have to understand how they look and how they're going to be treated. So if they look a certain way, we want to make sure customer service is up, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to make sure. So again, our board members, we have many that are situated in the city of College Park. We have Deanna Sparta, who's an employee, interim, I believe he's the interim director of the GICC right now. Jason Jones, Andre Joseph, Thomas Patterson. These are all business owners within the city that are vets, that do their Christmas drives here. We do our scholarships here. We're looking to create an avenue to where we can all thrive and grow. Our tactical needs, our tactical needs and funding the gaps along the corridor. Many of the advantages are given again on Main Street and Virginia Avenue that should be considered on Old National. Just in our last business meeting, we were told about the facade, where everybody else had an opportunity to look at it and see it and do all those things. We were given a last minute notice. So we would like to just get those opportunities on the front along with everybody else. Nothing more than less. Though we have a police and fire station area, the concept is sometimes left out when we talk about beautification and safety features that benefit our community. We talk about community policing. Community policing along Old National looks different than the community policing along Main Street and Virginia Avenue. It just looks different. Not to say it doesn't happen, it looks different. The police that patrol Old National are SWAT. They police us differently on Old National Corridor. Not to not SWAT, but they police differently. They approach differently. And not to say it doesn't sometimes be warranted, but the community relations from and we have a police precinct named after the first African-American police officer. We need to, there are opportunities. I appreciate Councilman Arnold and Councilman Gay for all of their community things that they do in the community, the events, the festivals. But we have to engage more for our businesses along this corridor. So any consideration of granting street states are necessary for the betterment of our corridor. Next slide, please. College Park has always been a major stakeholder in the Old National Mall. We can serve you better if we are included in your budget with more of your public safety, community engagement, community growth, and development. College Park, again, is the gateway to the city of South Florida. Businesses ethics for new business. This is the key of what we need on the Old National Corridor. A lot of people come to College Park and they come to Old National and say, "Oh, I don't like the way they treat it." We have business relations with whether it's the community faith-based community, whether it's the major chain hotels and major chain grocery stores, there's Kroger, Walmart. A lot of places, that's the only place a lot of those people on Old National can go. You got Wakefield on one side, you got Kroger on the other, and you got Walmart, which is not a grocery store. So a lot of times, many of them are in a food desert. So we have to realize a lot of our people will go to another place to do things because they say customer service is better. When I was a department head here, Michael Hicks, Bill Benefield, and I would go eat lunch every other day, somewhere along the corridor, Main Street, Virginia Avenue. But unfortunately, people are not just openly doing that today. We have to make sure we are holding ourselves accountable and purposely serving the Old National Corridor. So I'm not going to belabor the time. I know you all have a lot going on. The final slide, if you don't mind, is a picture of what we do in engagement. Mercedes said it best. We do the ribbon cutting, we do the community events, we do the 5K, which the mayor has participated in the last few years we've had it. I've seen her lose a whole body, whole person, in running our 5K. She has. She lost the whole person. I'll say what you want to say. We've had Councilwoman Arnold, Councilman Carr participating in our Christmas toy drive. We've constantly given toys to people in the city of College Park. But we want to make sure that we're not only doing these engagements and photo ops, we want to make sure we're involved with the businesses along this corridor. So I'd appreciate it if you could just consider Old National as part of the city of College Park when it comes to your finances. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any questions? Wonderful presentation, and thank you so much very much for you and all the councilmen sponsored this item because there's no reason why we shouldn't have been doing this with the International Nurses Association a long time ago. But now we're here right now, so I totally agree with everything you're saying, and we are one city, but we look different in different places. It's okay to look different, but we still need to have equity everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's different trends, different cultures, different ethnicities. And so our city should reflect that, but in terms of opportunity and really having this partnership, this financial, but then also partnering with other nations. And I want to thank you for your leadership. We did come out when I wasn't on council, and I do appreciate you having me on to speak to the business owners years ago, and looking forward to really moving forward with what you suggested and building a better, greater partnership for Old National.
Great organization. I attend as many of the Old National Nurses meetings as I can. There's a lot of it's work within the corridor as far as the businesses are concerned, as far as getting them up to stuff, making sure they're, it's basically a benefit to the city. You'd be surprised in the businesses on Sullivan Road that don't have business license or have business license. Things like that, just making sure these businesses are up to par, making sure that everybody, that the streetscapes are looking up to par. Yes, that is part of it. But the other part is the education to the vendors and merchants along the corridor. Yes. Yes. But a side grant coming from you all, that's not us. It's part of it. I mean, it's a variety of different things. It's not just one item. You understand what I'm saying? So. I think we need to actually put that type of attention in that area in the corridor. All I need is to look at what we're going to get. Check that off and we're good to go. So you want to make sure you get that. I'm going to do that.
The goal was to be able to provide funding for the National Merchants Association for both, for society and other grants that they may deem appropriate for business owners who adopt the Old National Corridor. It's not just going to be, because all of them want to have facades that they need to address, but they needed some resources to be able to help support those businesses. At the end of the day, I think that we all want to make sure that we keep the businesses that we have within the city in business. So it may take some education, some seminars, and some exposure as well. Just a little similar to what we provide for the College Park Ministry Association. I think that when we had our budget discussion a few weeks ago, and we talked about the monies that were allocated that were specifically for facade grants for the Main Street corridor, and recognizing that the Old National Guide Road corridor was not included in that, it just sparked something for me at that moment that, okay, we have merchants also in this corridor that need assistance as well. And those grants were specific to Main Street. And so now this, we can partner with the Old National Merchants Association to provide not only facade grants, but also additional resources for our merchants center. Thank you so much for the presentation. And thank you for all of the work that you've been doing so far to support our businesses, and I'm looking forward to us continuing to work together.
study something. I know you talked about 6 ways. The study was done in one place, but the site was in person still topped off. Yeah. There's a million companies used to that. It used to be sitting with, I mean, we have to do that. So I'm saying in closing, I think you got bigger problems. Logistical problems, special and then another thing you need to look at, that was true planning. You got female copies that's giving out ducks. You got urban planning that's just a real mix. And y'all got to put it all the time. Okay, it's a man's not going to hurt it. And that's not me. Crack your dollar. You phone woman for it. You drive to $1 billion tariff. You need to step up. You need to, is he a member of it? Yes, they actually have a board member. He needs to come. He needs to come. Because he's from my community, he has a responsibility to get back to that order. He drives up and down. And lastly, I would tell you is that there's a lot of people who depend on model go to work, hard work to do. 70% of people in partners work every day. And you know how they got their instructions and union of people who talk, who actually talk about this is what I'm trying to say. The buses are there. You get dropped off and the buses are there. That bus, 82 or whatever, it can't really get the people back and forth. That's too easy.
Some of the expectations and the thoughts around that got the Old National Corridor when we're looking at the facade grants that will help when you all are looking to support the businesses in that area along with some of those limits for the amounts of money that we would typically have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just wanted to give a little clarification and also maybe consideration. My understanding is that the motion that we're going to make today is to approve a contract for services with your organization for services and resources, so that you can provide services and resources. My thought is that we approve the contract for you to provide these services, but that we separate the side grants and talk about another, because this is not really a grant, this is a contract. And so I would hate for you to have to use the $50,000 to provide, I mean, you all can do that, but you have to use that to provide the side grants. I think that we still should, Councilman Arnold, we still should look at providing grants, the side grants, in addition to this amount of money. You need a contract. Excuse me? No, the contract, I'm saying this is fine. Tonight, if the contract is $50,000, but I think that in addition to the contract, that the facade grants should not necessarily be, because they're grants. This contract is for you to provide services, to render the services to help the businesses and provide resources and education, to my understanding. I think it's two different types of money. So I'm fine with the $50,000 for that, but I just don't think that it would be a good idea for you to have to take facade money out of that for grants, when the city can also look into providing, just as we do for the businesses, the other businesses throughout the city, additional funding. That's all. I'm just saying I think that we can do more.
I understand what you're saying. I think part of what I've been hearing throughout the entire conversation is that there's some lack of clarity about
we don't have a, oh, so you're not ready to vote on it because you don't even have a contract? I don't vote. But you don't think that we should vote on it because we don't have a contract? I mean, I just think we need the terms to understand that to make sure that everybody's got the scope of it. Oh, so that's not what I was thinking. The contract should be in the packet, is it not? I didn't see a contract in the packet. Anyone? I didn't see one in the packet, but I thought maybe it was in the, did you have a contract? It should be a contract in the packet for the next item. But there was a presentation with the slides. They're supposed to be, this is the cover page, as far as I've got it. Well, again, that's not what I was mentioning. I was just saying we should have a contract for you for $50,000 for the organization, for the services you provide. And then we should look at facade, a different pot, or increasing facade grant funds to make sure that we are giving enough facade grants to businesses in the Old Nation Florida. So I wasn't trying to hinder the contract, the vote on the contract tonight.
I understand what it is you're trying to do. The organization's been around for many years. Yes, sir. We came together and we did a lot of good work in the field. I think everybody up here supports what it is you're trying to do. City manager, probably what we want to do. I'm fine for, if we're going to approve the intent of what we're going to do with the funding. Heard that we should get the contract, and it is, as advertised, in terms of the things we're going to do a full year presentation as well, and expand it with all the other contracts, and itemize some of it, all the expenditures, and then note what you're going to do, and everybody's clear on that. I don't have an issue with moving forward with the intent of what we're going to do first. Unless we send that out to you guys, finance, you got the contract ready to go. I'm fine with approving now first, getting the contract that the expectations is not what we want in terms of what it is that we're doing.
So, was there a contract prepared? It was. Okay. Madam Clerk?
Madam Mayor, to my knowledge, I was not provided a contract or I'm going to attach it to the agenda packet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to make a motion
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 9D, discussion and consideration of an action on a request for a special event permit from Way Back in our unit to host an adult show day at Charles Lee Phillips Park on June 28, 2025 from noon to 7 p.m. This item is requested by Cleveland Deputy